All right. Can you hear me, gent?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yep. Alrighty, man. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Home Squad Sports. We're going to go ahead and review the first week. Got our last game going right now. Looks like Boston College should get the win there. Florida State, doing their thing, losing. So, what we're going to do, we're going to break down our games. Had a lot of, stuff going on all week. Some upsets, losing, winning, losing money, winning money, everything under. So Labor Day weekend, man. I'm happy to have everyone here that's going to join, watch it live, and watch it back here. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into it. First, we'll have we had Thursday night games. We'll get some more throughout the year, but we did have some ones to start out with. Obviously, the big one here, with the big Colorado game, and everybody's
Bucks.
looking
Yeah.
forward than UNC. So go ahead and got some results here. I mean, had a dogfight UNC Minnesota. PJ Fleck, I didn't think he was gonna
Game
really do it. He
sucked.
did it.
Honestly,
Yeah,
it wasn't a fun game.
yeah.
Max Johnson. I feel bad for that kid. You see what happened?
No,
He's like 6 year senior out there. First game, at least he's out for the year, and it sucks, man. His
yeah.
dad, Brad Johnson, was his dad too.
Oh, Brad John.
Super
Okay.
Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah,
He was in the
yeah.
stands. They showed him, man. He was distraught. It
Dang,
sucked, but they
dang.
got the win for him at least. This new quarterback is very mobile. Did you see him any?
No. I seen a little bit of him, but I remember the running back went off. I mean, he was in our graphic there, and he pretty much thinking 130 yards. So
Yeah,
yeah, he
30.
killed it, man. Yeah, he killed it. So all right, yeah. Then we obviously had Colorado. I mean, everybody knew it was a dogfight. A lot of people don't know. Some people do. Carl Lewis of 247 Sports. He runs a lot of the recruiting. Pretty much the man with 247 and pretty much handles all the rankings and stuff. Pretty much everything goes through that guy, pretty much. And he was out there, on Twitter, and I chimed in. He was like, everybody wants to see Colorado lose. Last week, they were a team you couldn't sleep on, and you had to watch out for them. This week, it was too close, and they weren't that good. So, it's everybody switched up, but it was a close game. Everybody knew they were going to probably cover, which they did, and that was I think it was 8.5, but opened up at 10.5. And
Well, I'll be the first to
yeah,
admit
yeah,
that I called the upset here on our first episode ever. So I'll
yeah.
eat my words. I'm not gonna say it was a bad win for sure. I think if North Dakota State was FBS, they'd probably be top 30.
Yeah, Matt McChesney said they might win the Mountain West if they were in it this year. So I mean, that's
I mean,
already
I don't
so,
disagree. After
yeah,
Boise didn't impress me much, and Fresno looked bad. So I mean, yeah, they might, and like the Sun Belt,
yeah.
the MAC for
But yeah,
sure.
yeah,
But it was a
yeah.
good
I
game,
know for
man.
sure.
Shador looks amazing. I can't argue that. And so does Travis Hunter. They might have the two best players in the country, but did they have enough
He's
around them? Did they have enough around
man,
them still?
his pocket presence is insane. He stays in that pocket for so long, and it's kind of like Burrow back when he did it. And people want to say, Gino. I think he's got a lot of Burrow. He don't have the crazy arm like he does, but I mean, he also doesn't have the receivers. So, but Jimmy Horn out there balling,
Him
he
too.
was doing
Him
his thing.
too.
Obviously, Travis Hunter did his thing, had one of the craziest catches we ever seen. Then it wasn't a catch of the night, which or a catch of the week, I guess. So, but it was good, man.
It
I
was a
mean,
great
Travis
catch.
Hunter. I think if
He,
one of them win the Heisman, they got to go up there together because they're probably going to be both finalists if one of them is. So
I
they
think
got to go up there together.
they're gonna have to find a run game sooner than later, though. I mean,
Yeah,
they didn't have one last
yeah,
year. And then the first game did not prove any doubters wrong about the run game still. So you can't just they can't be Texas Tech because that doesn't work. You can't win a national championship or maybe probably a conference title with just a straight air raid offense. So they're gonna
yeah,
have to
exactly.
have to get the ground game going, and Nebraska's a very tough defense. So I'm interested to see that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. So, like I said, we have a lot of more stuff to go over through. But like Colorado, that was the game, the first one everybody was looking to get into, and man, I think they'll be all right. Like the 4th-and-1 they didn't get where they turned over on downs, that looked bad. You got to get that, but you also got to play to your strengths at the same time. If they can't cover you, might as well keep on passing.
Yes,
But
so that's
um,
true.
yeah, then we all right. Well, I mean, we can talk about that game a little longer, but I think it's pretty much to exhaustion. You saw it's an FCS opponent. We'll have more to talk next week when we have Nebraska. I mean, that's going to
That
be the biggest dogfight of the
their
week.
defense is great. Their defense is great.
It's gonna be a dogfight. I think it's gonna be really good.
Rayola
But
looked good first game. Rayola looked good.
yeah, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So all right, well we'll go ahead to then. I mean, we can do a little review here. Let's see here. We got the TCU and Stanford game. Uh, yep, yep. Then we'll go ahead and it was 34-27. Then here's all our just ones that we had going on. Then here's how they ended up. So let's go ahead and get it.
Impressed me a lot. There was a rain delay during that game, lightning delay for a couple hours, and they came out and did us a beat. Drew Aller played his best game of his career. Harrison Wallace dominated at receiver. They got two
Yeah.
great backs. The defense is good, man. They did. Watch out. West Virginia, and it didn't impress me like I thought they were going to. Garrett Green.
No.
Garrett Green didn't look good, man. He might have regressed at least one game. It's only one game in, but he was great last
Yep.
year. 15 rushing touchdowns for a quarterback last year. I mean, he didn't show that yesterday or Saturday. He didn't show that, but Penn State might be that good. I mean, they usually only lose to Michigan and Ohio State. Nobody else can beat them, seemingly. So they had their number.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, everybody tried to. I think just talk themselves into it that West Virginia was going to do it. I just didn't see it. I just don't think they have the guys. I don't know about that coach. I mean, I did get we did have a little notes in here. I went pre-game that we had. I mean, the coach. I don't know. I don't know about him. I think they might need a little bit different of a guy there, but
he was on the hot seat before last year, and they went 9-4. So I mean, that's a pretty good year. You can't fire him then.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, so it was pretty much going to the game. It was James Franklin and Neil Brown. I went ahead and just matched them up. We had, he's going until his 11th year as James Franklin at Penn State, which seems like it's crazy. He's been there that long. He's done nothing, but he's shout out to his bankroll there, his bank account. But Neil Brown, 6th year. James Franklin, 88-39. Not a lot of quality wins, not a lot of late in this year wins, but. And Neil Brown, 31-29 going in, now 31-30. So
yeah, 500 record. I mean, he's not a place that's going to be really good. I don't think though in the NIL era, maybe ever. They don't have as much money as most teams that are power conference.
Yeah, yeah. Well, then that one was a runaway, kind of boring at the end there. Well, they had that delay too. So
we talk about this.
Yeah,
we got to talk about this
delay.
Now.
Yeah, well, we're going. When we got a Florida here, I didn't think you were going to win, honestly, but I didn't know it was going to be that bad. And like I said, the year, like everyone's saying, especially you, got to give Napier maybe another year and wait with Lagway. But
it might be Lagway time now. I mean,
it's Lagway. It's supposed to be Lagway next week.
Mertz got hurt.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be last week. I mean, it was 2.5 point spread there. I mean, it was crazy. I think there should have been. I mean, both coaches are under 500 going in. We had a few that were just plays that looked promising, but they just really couldn't get going. I don't think he has command of the team. I think how you lose is important, and I don't know if he'll make it through the year, but we'll see. We'll see.
Oh man, I can say so much. I don't want to go on a big rant here. I've already done that. I've aired it out to my family. I let them hear it, so they got to get the brunt of it. There's nothing else to say about Napier right now. If he can get Lagway going on, I mean, I hope it's Lagway's job now. Number 2 quarterback in the class, number 1. I think he's number 1. I mean, Rayola looked good though. I'll give him that. Lagway came in though and led the only good touchdown drive of the day. I know he threw a pick after, but we were just chucking it. We were chucking it. Montrell Johnson had a great run. 71-yard touchdown. But Miami, hate to say it, they look damn tough.
Yeah,
their whole team.
They did. They look. I mean, Cam Ward. I know he's obviously the transfer from Washington State coming in, but 3,700 yards last year, 25 touchdowns. So he might. I don't know about that many yards, but he's going to do his thing. I think this is the best Miami team we've seen in a long time, maybe since Ja'Cory Harris days. They had the Brad Kaya days too. I don't think those teams were that tough as this team. That's what I tweeted here. The other day, it's really good to see a good, tough Miami and Notre Dame team. and that's what we can. That's good for football. People say it's good for NBA when the LA Lakers are good. They say it's good for the league. Well, it's good for college football when Notre Dame is tough, which is rare, and when Miami's tough. So they haven't been tough in a while. We can go on with the Vandy game. That was a crazy one.
Love that game.
Yeah. I mean, the new quarterback there, he was a New Mexico guy, didn't really get his chance, went JUCO, and now he's doing it. So Coach Kill got him a guy.
He was good last year at New Mexico State. He balled
So
last year, man. He's a good quarterback. He looked great. Yeah. Kyron Drones didn't look good. Everybody had Virginia Tech as the dark horse in ACC, and then they laid an egg at Vandy. That's just not a good look. Vandy should not beat you. I mean, it's just the facts.
Yeah, that they've been the
bottom
tier of the SEC. So they're one of those SEC schools with an asterisk on them. It seems like it doesn't. I mean, yeah, they're an SEC school, but they don't really play like it. So yeah, I mean, then we got, like I said, Notre Dame. They're tough dogfight, man. You had Riley Leonard going in there to familiar crowd and trying to get in, come out with a win. And I think the coach made a couple calls questionable. He does that a lot. I don't like he just no emotion. He's just sitting there blank face. I like my coach a little bit, ready to get the boys fired up or something. He's just kind of sitting there. But
who are you talking about, Freeman?
Yeah, Freeman. Sorry, I said Franklin. Yeah, Freeman.
Marcus
Freeman.
Yeah,
Freeman. Yeah, he's all right. I mean, this is probably his best win, maybe, since Notre Dame.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they got blown out.
Probably his biggest win. I mean, you open up to a record crowd. They set a record there. And I don't know. I think they're going to be a lot better than they have been. Riley Leonard's actually a good quarterback. They, had quarterback issues the last few years. So I think Notre Dame, or if you can dog out a win like that, have that early, because that's going to probably happen again, and you can have that to look back on. Week one you dogged it out, so they should be able to hopefully get some impressive wins. I know they got Louisville coming up.
Yeah.
I think Louisville will give them a better chance than a lot of people think, but they should. Notre Dame should be able to run away with it. I say 10 to 14 points at least.
Oh man, I think they're looking at a minimum 10-win season here. And it's probably going to get them in the playoffs. Their defense is top 5 in the nation.
Yeah.
Benjamin Morrison at corner, absolute problem. Takes away, he's taking away your number one unless that number one is very, very good. The whole D line's tough. The O-line's always good at Notre Dame. Running game was good. I don't know. They play good all around football. I think they still need some more receiving weapons, which they ain't going to get now. It's the start of the season. So to really stretch the field vertically, I don't know if they have that explosive ability that you want in a championship contender, but everything else about the team's pretty good. Yeah,
they're solid. I mean, if they get 10 wins this year, that'd be 2 years in a row with 10 wins. So that'd be good. So, all right, we'll go ahead and move on to Oregon. Have your natty pick of the year. I don't know after this week if that's going to be it. I mean, I know they went ahead and threw for a lot of yards with Dylan Gabriel, but they were kind of really short passes. You can't really put too much crazy stock. That you want to talk about Colorado not winning by enough. Well, Oregon should have won by 40 points. I mean, and them not getting a lot of the love. Not a lot of the hate. And, they should because it was definitely not a good showing from them.
It was an ugly game. I mean, Idaho got in the game at one point. They down 10 with the ball. What they down? Did they go down? They were only down 3, right? Yeah, they were.
I don't know. So yeah, I mean,
they were down. It was just 14 at one point. I mean, come on, that's in the third.
I mean, I didn't watch it. I mean, I wasn't going to watch it anyway, just because I thought it was going to be a blowout. But then I'm not going to watch it just
because it was close.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah. So I mean, hopefully they could. I don't know. I don't think up front they have what it takes. Really, honestly, we're going to be able to see that. I mean, Big Ten and Oregon, just that brand, those two brands of football just don't really mix. But we'll see. So all right, we move on to UCLA. So we'll go ahead and move into UCLA. You got to think. I don't know how many hours. I think 5-hour difference or something like that. It totals to I think an 8-hour difference from flight and from how they did it. How that's what Coach JB broke down earlier today. But
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's hard to go in there and get a win. Now Hawaii's not. They haven't been good in a while. maybe everybody thought they'd keep it close, which they did. So, but Deshaun Foster gets a win, his first debut as head coach. So, I think this will be a better UCLA team, as normal, what they were used to, but different brand of football they're going to have to play to get wins now. So
Yeah, but they didn't impress me, man. 13 and a half point spread. Not about 3.
Yeah.
Hawaii's just not good anymore. I wish they were. Maybe they are this year. It's too early to tell. Maybe they can keep that up. Their defense, if they can hold UCLA to 16, maybe they can make some noise in the Mountain West this year. That would be nice.
Yeah. And then, we had the 7:30 game last night. Which was the USC and LSU game. Only game we had. Man, that was a crazy game. LSU, I don't know. You would think you tailor the game plan around your quarterback, and that quarterback is not good. He's just not good. It looks like he's really. I think they'll have some guys do some different reps in practice. They'll switch some guys out because I watched that whole game. I was betting on the game. I bet drive after drive, and man, Miller Moss is out there looking. He's top 5. I mean, he's
good,
top
man.
5 in the nation. He gives me that Bo Nix last year just with hype. Like he's going to start getting that hype, I think, because they Bo Nix had so much hype last year. I think he's going to be like that. His arm, he's up there with Quinn Ewers. I think looking at him, he is coming off the biggest bowl win. He threw for the most touchdowns, from a school, in a bowl game. Then he comes back and throws for his career high yards. So, I was watching the whole game. And what was your thoughts on the game? Like, what did you really see out there?
It was a very enjoyable game, fun game. Nussmeier didn't look great. You're right. Last year in the bowl game, though, his first start, he looked awesome. So maybe it's UFC. It's a big game. Las Vegas. I mean, there's a sellout. There's more fans there than the Super Bowl. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I'll give him a little bit of a break. The run game is not great. Still, they haven't had a good back since. Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, and even
maybe
then, he was kind of
long ago.
Yeah, he was kind of a bust for college anyway. He was supposed to be the next Barry Sanders.
Darius Geis was probably better.
Yeah.
In college, but either way, Miller Moss is really, really good. Zachariah Branch, Kyron Hudson, their offense is just going to be Woody Marks, running back, the transfer from Mississippi State. He looked good, running the ball, 2 touchdowns. Their defense has improved like that. USC could make noise. They gave up 27, right?
Yeah.
That's USC. You'll take that for a Lincoln Riley team. You'll take that.
I know.
What I will say about their quarterback's going to be good. It's Lincoln Riley. He's not going to have a bad quarterback. Doesn't happen. The rest of his team might not be able to pick him up. His quarterback's going to play damn good.
Yeah, I know that's true. He's got away with just getting the most out of what he has, and everything else might not work, but he's definitely going to at least have a quarterback that's going to go out there, sling it, create open space, and get it done. With LSU, they can still get back in the playoff. Obviously, that's what's so crazy about these big games. You want them to mean so much, but it's hard because you can always just bounce back. And back then the BCS, and even recently before they expanded with the playoff, if you lost the first week, when you had conference games coming back, your season was pretty much on the line.
Had to win out. Right.
Yeah, pretty much had to win out. Your season was on the line every week. So,
there, though. That's what I like about it. It's always the same 4 teams, pretty much.
Yeah. Ohio State hasn't won it since the first playoff. Like I said, I think this will be their year. Ohio State looked really good. I think Will Howard is a guy they just needed just to get him over the hump. Like McCord showed out for Syracuse. He looked really good. We saw what he can do, but just it's a different beast. When you're trying to win a natty and when you're trying to go ahead and get a ring on your finger, and they have the biggest on paper team. They've had the best on paper team multiple years. So time will tell. That's the only thing that sucks about week 1. It's week 1, but we can't get too excited and can't get too low. Maybe except for Florida. I don't know. I don't know. We don't know what's going to look up for Florida. They're
Lane Kiffin. Give him the bag.
Lane Kiffin in Florida would be nice. I really would like Lane Kiffin at Florida. I think he needs to escape from Ole Miss just from a location standpoint. Yeah, just from a location standpoint on recruiting, I bet it's a hard sell coming to the SIP.
You know how he could recruit at Florida?
Yeah, he could do it, man. I actually like that pick a lot. I think the season
That's
will.
what we want. I mean, that's gonna be hard though.
Yeah, I
He hasn't
know.
made
I
there
know.
right now. I mean, he might be the best coach ever already. With 11 win season last year, it was the most ever.
Oh yeah. But he's known to bounce around, so he might bounce around and do his thing. Whatever's gonna. I mean, you have to do whatever's gonna get guys in your facility and stay there. And you're having to
Yeah, nowadays,
recruit
yeah.
you're having to recruit your own team every 3 months and hoping they don't leave. And in Mississippi, would you rather be rich in Mississippi or be rich in Florida? They're going to get bag anywhere they go. So, and that's how they're looking at it. More than likely, I would see we're going to,
That's why
throughout the
Judkins left back,
season.
right? I mean, Judkins left after 2 great seasons.
Yeah, well, they up the bag supposedly. So
In a great
I mean,
system. That's what I'm saying. It's all about that money nowadays.
they up the bag. You get to go to Ohio State, who's the on paper champion, and there's just more of a buzz with Ohio State than there is Ole Miss. I mean, Ole Miss is always Ole Miss's best buzz is when they're a dark horse, is when they're an underdog. I mean, Bo Wallace, Chad Kelly, those years where they were just an underdog, and now since then, I mean, they just had those. They had Bo Nix, but I mean, he was at Auburn, and you got Ole Miss that just has those similar type of guys where they're real mobile. They're those
mobile.
they're just real mobile
gritty.
guys. Just
big arms.
I don't know,
though.
man.
They got big arms.
Jackson
Dart doesn't have that big arm, but
that's what I'm saying. Since then, these past few quarterbacks they've had have just been kind of mobile and not the traditional. He's good. I just don't. He's good. Like I said, he reminds me a lot of Bo Nix too. I just don't know if they could get it done with him. I don't know. These quarterbacks, right? I think the top quarterbacks right now, the Shadurs, Quinn, and you got Miller Moss. I think those are my top 3.
That's yours.
And
NFL guys
my
love
top
Carson
3.
Beck. NFL guys love Carson Beck. I don't know why. I mean, he's accurate with
everybody
football.
loves Carson Beck, and
he's
I don't
accurate
get
with the
it.
football. That's it.
And I mean,
Taylor
so is Murray.
Perfect team though. Like perfect team for
yeah.
There's a couple guys I want to shout out though. A couple performances, like big, huge games that I want. I just want to like these guys. Tutorial McMillan, probably the best receiver in the country. 10 catches, 304 yards, 4 touchdowns, 61 points against New Mexico. Fafita McMillan connection was on point. I love Fafita.
Fafita won me some money.
Next year's class QB1 already.
Yeah, I put money on Fafita when they were down, I think 3, and they came back and they got the dub.
He's a problem. And then Boise State running back Ashton GT, 20 carries, 267 yards, 6 tutties. Give him the Heisman race right now. I don't care if he plays for Boise State or not. They play Oregon this week. He can go for 103 or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
they looked good. Everybody said this year that this is maybe a different Boise State team. Obviously, I think everybody else said, "All right, show me," and they did. So I think that
he did that last year.
They'll have to pay rent next week like everybody else has to. So yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people balled out week 1. A lot of the bigger games with bigger conferences we thought were going to be a lot more high scoring that weren't. But that's all right. You got to fill out for your team, and I mean, this is the big dogs now. I think with the pro, what I noticed just with style of play, it looks more of like a pro style play. What they're doing,
I've noticed
they're running it. They're running the clock, man. And even if you're up or down, they're just chewing so much of these clocks, and you're left. I mean, it was I think it was an 8-minute drive. Started up. I forgot what game it was, but there was an 8-minute drive. First drive. I think it was Alabama, but I mean, you open up with an 8-minute drive of a 12-minute quarter.
15.
You're lucky. Yeah, 15. Yeah, my bad. So I mean, with you got the no accelerated clock really, but they just don't stop the ball enough. They need to say, okay, we're playing a pro system now, where they're gonna have to tailor some of these rules to pro games. Are they gonna have to start doing 2 feet? Are they gonna have to? They did the 2-minute warning now, which is new, so that's gonna help out a lot of teams.
2-minute timeout.
Yeah, 2-minute timeout. You got to look at a lot of these. Well, that's just commercials. I mean, that's just.
They said they can't call it warning because I don't know why.
Yeah, I've seen that. There's no sense. I mean, maybe that's maybe NFL has that like trademarked or something. So, which would be insane. Like, a lot of places can't say Super Bowl; they have to say the big game, or something,
Oh,
the big one or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, a lot. Then how about that rule? Did you see on LSU where the D line, where the D line is not allowed to make a sudden movement before the snap count anymore?
they can't move to the side
No, they
like
says
real quick.
if it's a move to influence movement of the other team is now a flag.
Pretty lame.
I mean, that's just a defensive shift. It's not to get them to move; it's to get them to think more.
That's what I'm
To get
saying. It's
them
to get you into gaps and stuff. Like,
yeah, exactly. So I mean, I don't know that Chip. I mean, Brian Kelly's going insane, and when they called
I
that,
mean, that
and
seems rightfully so to me. I don't like him, but man, I can't blame him.
yeah, I mean, here was a lot of times where they had a couple guys go out with injury during the game, so they had to power through a lot of adversity in that game. So, but they still came up short. It's all that matters is getting the win. Everyone knows that, but. We'll
Yeah.
see next week. I mean, we're going to have a full preview of next week's games, coming up. But, I mean, this week 1, it was fun. I mean, I thought a lot of people want to say the product was bad maybe and there was not enough points in some games, but a lot of them went over. And,
Yeah,
I
I think it
think,
was a good weekend of football for the first week.
yep, I think it was. And we'll have a full NFL preview too this week. And let's go ahead and, get into that. So I know we're going to do a little bit of a light preview here just because, we want some more time to go ahead and get a full breakdown of everything. But we do have the, first games here. I mean, week 1, if you're a betting man, I honestly would stay away from most of these games because
Yeah, you're right.
week. It's like preseason. They do the week 1s like they do Christmas Day. They want good matchups to start. All these matchups are pretty solid. I mean, you're looking at Bengals Patriots. It should be a blowout, but Bengals didn't start out good last year at all. So
They
I
better
don't
not lose
know.
that
All
game.
these, yeah, I mean, all these games are going to be
They
really
can't
good
lose
games. I
that
mean, look,
game.
you look up and down. Obviously, with anytime you see Lions and the Rams played, they're
Oh,
playing. I'm
Lions
like,
Rams.
okay,
Nice.
yeah, that's always a good game with the history there and Goff and Stafford trade. So you always want to. That's adding to their
Dominican
records. So
Sue.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, exactly. And
It's a good
Ndamukong
slate. It's
Suh,
a good slate, man. That's a
it is.
good game to open the season with. I'll say that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the Jets and the 49ers. That's the big question. Aaron Rodgers got 3-4 plays in last year, then he was done, and that's all she wrote for that pretty much that whole season. So I mean, this year they're going to get another whack at it, another swing, and honestly, I think this is the year where the 49ers just fall off, man. I think they're already Trent Williams is having issues on getting a contract. He might miss the first game. Best, one of the best left tackles in the league, if not the
The rest of their
best.
O line suspect too.
Yeah, man. I think this is the year they come crumbling down.
Really? What is that? What's the
Shanahan.
record like? What would that be crumbling for
It
them?
don't
10
matter
wins
about the
or less than
record.
10
It
wins?
doesn't matter about the record, man. It's all about how you finish, and
Well, yeah,
if you're
yeah.
making a playoff run. Um, I think they might lose if they make it to the playoffs. Honestly, I think they will. Obviously, they should. I think they'll lose first game. Whoever they play, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Shanahan doesn't win big games, and now their roster is depleted as ever. And man, I don't think they'll get it done. But I mean, I
Talking
could
about
also be wrong.
the Niners, Ricky Pearsall, my guy. Get well
Yeah,
soon.
no
Get
shot.
well soon,
Yeah,
man. Glad you're okay. He's on
yeah,
he's on the 4-week NFI list, not on the football injury list, but he's
yeah.
alive, man. Fuck, it could have been wild. It could have been bad.
Yeah, well, they'll go ahead and bring up somebody there. Somebody will get a shot to get an NFL, check for a couple weeks to fill out the roster, or they might go, who knows what they'll do. 49ers are always usually pretty active and looking at somebody during the season too. So, but we got some good matchups here. I know the Saints are only a 4.5 point favorite against the Panthers. I think they're going to blow them out.
I think the Panthers are terrible, worst team in the league.
Yep. Them and the Raiders are gonna. Raiders
Giants are not going to be very good, but we need to win this game. Same Darnold. This can be one we can win. I think at home, first game. They're still probably better than us, but Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones. We beat them in. That's who Daniel Jones beat in the playoffs 2 years ago. That's the best game he's ever played. So maybe he knows the Minnesota defense. Who knows? Watch out! Watch out! Giants want to know.
I know. We'll see. I mean, I could take y'all that game for sure. I mean, I think the Giants are moving into the running for me in the Shadur Sanders sweepstakes. I think it's going to be Cowboys and Giants right there on where he goes, or Seattle. But those three are my top three for Shadur.
The
I
Cowboys, I
mean,
think, would have to
I'm
trade up for him though, and they ain't gonna be that bad. I don't think.
okay. Look, I'm going to say it right now. If you're Jerry Jones, Jerry Jones. I mean, hey, Grim Reaper's knocking at your door. He's coming. He
Yeah.
doesn't have that many years left. He wants to get a Super Bowl. Everybody knows it. He's he's more aggressive and and pretty much everything. Everybody's on more thin ice. Um, but man, if I'm Jerry Jones, I try to get Travis Hunter and Shadur Sanders. Whatever you need to do. You trade
Wow.
Dak Prescott. Trade Dak Prescott for hopefully you get a first rounder out of him, some or a second, or you can flip that second or something. You do anything you can to get those two on the field together, and they would be good. I think Travis Hunter and Shadur, if they went
CD
together on
Lamb
the
with
same
CD
team,
Lamb with them too.
I mean, just if you want to go ahead and mark up a crazy story, I mean, Dion, won the ship there, whole
Oh, hire
Aikman
him too.
crew, and then yeah, hey, that could happen. That could happen. I mean, I think he'll stay just one more, 2 more years, but who knows? That's a whole nother story there with them. So, but yeah, what we'll do here, we'll go ahead and go through a few just more key points that we want to go ahead and highlight. But like I said, week one was a great week one. We all kind of expected it to be, a fill it out game, a fill it out week. So what we're going ahead and do now is wrap it up, man, and I will go ahead and be on throughout the week. We will go ahead and get some stuff going here, and but one thing I do want to say is thanks for tuning in, and we'll go ahead and end it here. And y'all have a great night, and I'll see you later the rest of the week. Peace.